The Department of Science and Technology celebrated the National Science Day on the 28th of February 2025 at Vigyan Bhavan New Delhi in the gracious presence of Dr Jitendra Singh, Hon'ble Minister for Science and Technology, Independent Charge. The theme for this year's National Science Day is Empowering Indian Youth for Global Leadership in Science and Innovation for Viksit Bharat. Professor Abhay Karandikar, Secretary-DST, in his welcome address said,
Let me begin, first of all, by extending my warm greetings to the National Science Day, which, as all of you know, that is celebrated each year to commemorate the path-breaking discovery of Raman effect, which actually placed our country on the global scientific map. Today's theme is empowering Indian youth for global leadership in science and innovation for Viksit Bharat. As all of you know that India has largest young population. Our median age is approximately 28 years and 65% of our population is below the age of 35 years. In fact, only a very small percentage of population, like 7% or so, is above 65 years of age. And given young country, we have a significant potential to not only become a Viksit Bharat as per the Honorable Prime Minister's vision by 2047, but also to provide a global leadership in science and innovation. There are no dearth of opportunities for youth today in science and technology, and the Government of India is committed to nurture the young talent through several initiatives that have been launched in the case of research fellowships or in the case of innovations and entrepreneurship. Through various funding initiatives and through various mentorship programs, we are fostering a robust ecosystem that has encouraged our young innovators to develop innovative solutions for transforming the scientific landscape of our country. As we celebrate the National Science Day, let us reaffirm our commitment to create a conducive environment where science and technology are not just academic pursuits, but become the powerful tool for the nation building. I urge all of you to work together to inspire the young generations to think critically and address the global challenges and contribute to achieving our country a global scientific leadership. All my young friends, the future of our country and the goal of attaining the Viksit Bharat lies in your hand, and I hope that all of you will rise to this occasion. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to all of you on the National Science Day. Let this day be a catalyst for inspiration, discovery and transformations.
Professor A.K. Sood, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India.
First of all, let me greet you all on this National Science Day. The vision of Viksit Bharat, as envisaged by our Honorable Prime Minister, is a shared aspiration fueled by collective thoughts and efforts of all Indian citizens, regardless of their societal, sectoral, or age group affiliation. However, it is our youth who possess the greatest potential to transform the vision and dreams into reality, propelling us towards a $5 trillion economy or more by 2047. The theme of today's day, Empowering Indian Youth for Global Leadership in Science and Innovation for Viksit Bharat, is so very apt because, as mentioned by Professor Karandikar, approximately 65 to 67% of India's population falls within the working age group. And in next 5 years, India's working age population is expected to exceed about 1 billion. In the coming decade, India is forecasted to contribute about 25% of the international global workforce. And given this immense potential, it is crucial that we carefully nurture and develop our human resources. In today's rapidly evolving technology landscape, it is imperative for the youth to be upskilled in contemporary technologies to remain competitive and relevant. These technologies, they are changing by the day. It could be quantum today, it could be something else tomorrow, and AI is on everyone's agenda. The educational landscape is shifting from a single disciplinary focus to a multidisciplinary approach, recognizing the interconnectedness of various fields and the necessity for holistic problem-solving strategies. For example, advancements in AI now draws from various fields such as computer science, mathematics, cognitive psychology, neuroscience, and so on. Similarly, sustainable development efforts integrate insights from environmental science, economics, and social science. Technological advancements and the dynamic nature of industries demand a workforce that is adaptable and proficient in new skills. We must therefore invest in world-class education that emphasizes STEM disciplines, foster a culture of research and innovation, and create an ecosystem that encourages interdisciplinary collaboration, such as being done with Anusandhan National Research Foundation. We have seen entrepreneurship in India has been a transformative force which is driving innovation, job creation, and economic growth. The Indian startup ecosystem, as you all know, is growing. We have almost 1.6 lakh startups and almost 190 plus unicorns, making India the third largest startup ecosystem globally. This growth has significantly contributed to the country's economic progress, accounting to about 10 to 15% of GDP share between financial year 16 and 24 and creating almost 17 lakh jobs. Today, we celebrate National Science Day, commemorating C.V. Raman's groundbreaking discovery that earned him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930. But this day is more than a tribute to his achievement. It is a beacon for spreading scientific awareness, recognizing contributions to science, and inspiring innovations among our youth. We may note that the Raman effect, discovered as a breakthrough in basic sciences, has turned into a very powerful technology in disease diagnosis, sensitive explosive detectors, semiconductor industry, and so on, telling us that basic science of today could be the technology of future, tomorrow, and it should be nurtured with an eye on its use in disruptive technologies. By empowering our young minds in science and innovation, we aim not only to elevate India's global standing, but also to equip future generations with the skills and knowledge to tackle the complex challenges of the 21st century. And in all this, we have to see that our youth remain excited and imbibe the science culture in their daily life. So the recent announcement by Honorable Prime Minister, the suggestion which he gave, one day as a scientist, I think it's an extraordinarily innovative concept which we should see how we can empower our youth to imbibe the spirit of science. And one day as a scientist can go a long way in really nurturing the spirit of science and innovation in our youth. So with this, once again, my greetings on this Science Day and wish you all the very best.
Some important activities of this National Science Day were releases and felicitation, compendium of selected projects, launch of new initiative to support EV startups, evolutions, release of inclusive technology business incubators, ITBIs, transfer of green corrosion inhibitor technology from manure, signing of MOU between DST and Ministry of Ayush on biomedical devices. Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Independent Charge, remarked,
First of all, I have to congratulate you all and also exchange greetings on the National Science Day. And as was being said, it was 78 years ago that the Raman effect came to be known to the world. And we have been consecutively every year observing this day as the National Science Day to commemorate the great work done by C.V. Raman and also to celebrate his legacy. But this year, this day comes with a difference. And that is, I think, for the first time, the Prime Minister of India has made an appeal to the common citizenry to celebrate it in much the same fashion as they celebrate any other festival in this country. And he made a special mention of it in his monthly Man Ki Baat broadcast, imploring upon each one of us to at least feel like a scientist, if not a scientist, at least a student of scientist or a learner of a scientist. And when Prime Minister says that, this amounts to the declaration of intent of the government in place. And in other words, this is also a reflection of the high priority that the political dispensation of this country is currently giving to science, innovation, and everything else associated with this. And I think I will not be exaggerating when I say that over the last 10 years, the manner in which the science, innovation, research, startups have been promoted has actually enabled the different ministries and departments of science in the government sector to occupy a center stage, which rarely but happened before. Most of the science departments and even the science secretaries were hardly known in the corridor circles of the central government. It's no longer so. And again, it's primarily because the Prime Minister makes a personal outreach to the members, to the officials, to the experts working in this department. And to my mind, if you sum up the last 10 years, I would say it has happened in three ways. A, there's a virtual resurgence of the science ministries and departments in the government sector. Secondly, there has been a quantum leap in the outcomes. And thirdly, there's a wider recognition of the work being done by these departments, by these ministries, and by the scientific fraternity at large. Recognition both domestically as well as overseas and abroad. And this has not happened simply overnight. There's been a tremendous amount of hard work put in behind that. And we never had dearth of talent in this country, or potential in this country, or passion in this country, or commitment in this country, or imaginative, innovative creativity in this country. Possibly what we lacked was an enabling milieu which is expected from the policymakers and which has happened after 2014. And the world is today acknowledging this. And since all of us, like good researchers and students of science, have learned not to talk without figures or without statistics or evidence, you pick up any sector, you pick up space. This morning we were having a bilateral with the Space Commissioner from the European Union, and others there would bear me out what he said. He said the next century, this current century or 21st century is going to be the century of space and the century of India occupying this space. That's happened because we have succeeded in proving to the world what we could do through mission after mission. So it's Chandrayaan-3, whether it's the solar mission, whether it's the very recent SpaceX, and no longer constrained to pick up leads from others, but in a position to offer cues to others. And that has now begun to be acknowledged very candidly by those reaching out to us. If you take the example of the sector of biotechnology, a lesser-known department thrown into a remote corner of an ITBP office, but suddenly this department has been pulled out from that backyard with the personal indulgence of Prime Minister Modi. He launched Mission Suraksha, and on day-to-day basis, he was monitoring the progress in the trials of vaccine. And when you have that kind of an abundant sport, the confidence, the motivation also gets multiplied manifold. And the result is that his team came out with the first ever DNA vaccine and gifted it to the world. Being someone associated with the world of medicine, I always take fancy in telling the youngsters in whatever institutions I go, because the generations have changed. It's not easy for them, for these teenagers and students of today, what it means to be a pioneer in vaccine. Because my generation has gone through a transition phase where India was not taken seriously even for curative healthcare, even for the therapeutic healthcare. So if one felt sick, one waited to get worsened before seeing a doctor. If you got well, ₹5 ka prasad chadha diya. If you didn't get well, apna karma hai. So you had homemade remedies and placebos. The same country today, which was not taken seriously by the world for its therapeutic or curative healthcare, is today being acknowledged as a leader in preventive healthcare. And now it's almost one after the other series of vaccines, HPV, so on, so forth. If you go to earth sciences, I said till a few years ago, if you did a survey in this capital city of Delhi, just took a perform and asked the passers-by, where on earth is the Department of Earth Science? I'm sure many would fumble answering that. Today, it has been virtually pulled out of that oblivion. Again, because Prime Minister, realizing this not once, but twice consecutively in his Independence Day address, referred to deep sea mission. He did that in 2023, 15th August. He again did that in 2024. I'm not sure how many people would have actually realized that, but the very fact that he was saying so meant, A, that the government was giving it a priority, it was a flagship priority for government, and B, it could generate curiosity in the listener to actually try to dig out, find out whether from your mobile or other source, what after all is deep sea mission or deep sea venture. And today we are among the first few countries who have ventured into the ocean wealth, which is going to add value to the future growth story. In North India, the space sector has generated interest in the last 5-7 years, because I only suggested that time to, I think Dr. Radhakrishnan was there, I said we have to move out from South. And the first two new centers we opened were in Northeast, Agartala NIT, and the Teaching Space Technology Center with post-graduation, etc., in Central University, Jammu. and suddenly you started getting startups from here. So we would then decide where do we meet next time, this year, and on this day. And that, I think, would also help us live up to the resolve of dedicating this National Science Day to the youth of this country, who are actually going to be there around to celebrate the National Science Day on 2047.
The celebration highlighted not only the achievements in the field of science, technology and innovation by the country, but also discussed scientific strategy for Viksit Bharat, like preparing for an artificial intelligence-powered future, Bamak in healthcare, etc., through lectures by eminent experts. Narrated by Manoj mainkar and presented by Dilip Jha, this broadcast came to you from the Indraprastha channel of Akashvani, Delhi.